Hello students, welcome to your Android user interface session number 18. So in the last session, if you remember, we had discussed something about coordinator layout and we had studied something about app bar layout, nested views and collapsing toolbar layout. And in the exercise we had we had added the content and scrolled it along with the toolbar. So in this session, we'll study something about a new layout called the tab layout. So let's start. So tab layout provides a horizontal layout to display tabs. So for example, I'll show you a screen here. So this is a tab layout where icons are placed alongside horizontally. So this is what is mentioned in the first line here. Then the population of the tabs to display is done through tab layout dot tab instances. So basically the population means that the number of elements or icons that we are keeping inside a tab layout, that is done through tab layout dot tab instances. So you create tabs via new tab. This is the syntax through which you can create a new tab, which we'll see during our exercise. So after creating a tab, then you can change the tabs label or icons via set text init and set icon init respectively. So to display the tab, you need to add it to the layout via one of the add tab methods. So this is the example of the format, which is tab layout is used as a layout, and inside the tab layout we have add tab method and set text. So for example, we have a tab structure here where the first icon is the home icon, second is a fruit icon, third is the cart icon, and the last one is a normal menu icon. So the text under these icons will be different, so we can set our text accordingly, that we have shown here in the syntax for the set text. Also here in order to show these icons and highlighted icons and non-highlighted icons, we are going to use the frame layout method that we studied in the last session. So that will be useful during the tab setup. Moving on. So you should set a listener via on set tab selected listener method to be notified when any tab selection state has been changed. Also, you can add items to you can also add items to tab layout in your layout through the use of item tab. An example is something what is written here. This is the syntax of how to use or how to add the tab item in the tab layout. So we'll be doing this in the exercise. So if we take our example of this, we have four icons which are called items, which we need to define here as tab item. So if we have four icons or four items, we'll have to define four tab items inside our tab layout. So to see this, let's go to our Android Studio and see how this can work. So let's create a new project altogether for seeing this tab layout. Let's go to our file and new project. So now this is how we used to create a project, if you remember from our first session. So let's give it a name, calling it has tabs example. So there is already a tab example inside the project location, so that is why it's taken as a default number of 2. If we change this to tab underscore example, then the tool disappears. So that means there is no project created by the name of tab example. So let's create it for, so the minimum SDK version is set here at 15, so we can keep it as default. And we can select the empty activity screen because we are going to use the tab from scratch. And now here we can just keep the name of the main activity screen as the main activity screen. So let's finish this. So now this files will be built up, and now our main activity or Java and XML files are created. So new project is basically created, which is tab_example. So here we are using the constraint layout, so we'll revise the constraint layout also while using the tab layout. So we can remove the text view, and if you see the design, so this is the design view section of our new project. So first of all, we need to add the tab layout inside this screen. So for that we need to find the tab layout. Where is it located? So inside the layouts we have constraint layout, frame layout, linear layout, table layout, but there is no tab layout. And let's see if it is in transitions. It's not even in transitions. Now let's go to the design part. So if we go into the design part, here we find the tab layout. So this is our tab layout, which is inside the design you can say design section, and from here you can add the tab layout onto your project. So now if I click on it, it will just give a pop-up saying that this operation requires the design library. Would you like to add this library now? And just click on OK because we have to add this library. So now after adding the library, we will be able to use the tab layout. So now after adding the tab layout onto your screen, what we need to do is change the width and the height of the layout. So if we just use 100 and 100 as height, so this will help us in adding the constraints to this layout. So let's revise it again. So we attach it here, we attach it here, and we attach it to the top. So here we can check that these three edges are attached, and we do not want to give any margins from any side. Also, we can just match parent. The width can be kept as match parent now. Sorry, not match parent, but match constraints, which is the norm used in constraint layout. Also height, here we will not keep it as 100 dp, but we'll go into our code and change this height according to the action bar height. So for that, if you remember, what we need to do is attribute and then action bar size. So this is the height that we want to give. So this is the height for the action bar, and the same height has been taken up by the tab bar. So also if you notice that when we dragged tab layout inside our screen, we got three tabs by default, which can be seen here. So tab item 1, tab item 2, and tab item 3. So we can if by any reason, for any reason, when you scroll, when you drag and drop it here and you do not get 3 items, or you do not get any item, you can also add your tab item through your tab item using your tab item code, which is given here. Also if you notice here that the this is the tab layout. So the tab layout, the starting tag is here, and this is the closing tag of the tab layout. After this closing tag, you can set the content of the tab items outside the tab bar. So this is the tab items that are defined outside the tab layout. So here we have three tabs, which is one is left, and then is center, and then is right. So these are the three tabs that are there by default once you drag and drop the tab layout. So let's run this using our emulator and then see how it behaves. So this is how the tab layout works once it runs on the simulator. So as you can see that the highlighted part is underlined, and whatever the tab we select, that gets highlighted. So this is how it will function on your phone as well and inside your applications as well. So to learn more about this tab structure, you can just go to the developer website and you can read about the tab layout. Here, if you want to set an icon along with the text, you can do so by using the icon from the mipmap folder. So mipmap equal to your IC or launcher. So from the mipmap folder you can add your icons, but it's a very rare case that there are icons as well as text with the tab bar. The norm says normally it should be either text or only icons. But if the application demands both, then this is how you can add them both. So if you run this on your simulator, this is how your tab bar will look like with icons and text. So now let's assume that we do not need any text and we delete the text completely. So now if we run this program on our emulator and see how it looks. So now without any text, this looks like three icons in a tab bar. So normally what we do is the title of the page or the tab is kept in the title area where we have written as tab_example. So this is our project name currently that is being shown, but in normal cases this title will the name of the tab will take the place in the title bar. So if you remember the example that we had seen earlier, so we had seen this layout, tab layout. So in this case, the highlighted tab, the icon of the highlighted tab was colored, while rest of them were non-highlighted or were not colored. So this basically happens using the selector method or function, which if you remember we had studied as an alternative to the ripple effect. So for that we have to go to resources and inside drawable just right click on it. So now we need to use our vector assets. So this is under the new tab. So if you click on vector assets, a window will open. So here we can pick an image or an icon from the icon set provided. So let's say we let's say we have a camera icon. We select a camera icon and next and finish, and we again go into the drawable folder and click on this and vector asset and select the same icon, the camera icon, but in this case we select it as, no, this was not the icon earlier. So the earlier icon was the camera icon only, not the add camera. So if you're not able to find any icon, you can just type the name or something related to the name and then it can show, it can filter out. So here we need to supply it with, let's suppose, a color pink. The name is pink, not the color, so that we can easily identify that this is the highlighted one, highlighted icon. So we finish this. So now similarly we'll add another vector asset, and let's suppose this is the account box here, and we click OK and account box, next and finish, and again we select the same but for the pink color or for the highlighted color. This is the account box, so the name, just change it to pink and click next and finish. And for the third tab, let's use a third image, which can be, let's suppose this is the image. Let's suppose this is the image. Add circle, next and finish, and the same goes for its pink image or the highlighted image. So the name was add circle. We can select it from here and give the name as pink for the highlighted image. So now we have added 3 tab images using our vector assets. So all these icons can be found in the drawable folder. So they are inside the drawable box, drawable folder. So now here we can see that this background is black, while for the pink color we can supply it with a color from our color folder. So if we go into our values colors folder, we'll see that there is a color for pink, so we'll use that for each color defined here. Similarly for this, and similarly for our third icon. This. So now the pink icons have been supplied with all the pink colors or our accent colors. So here what we can do is now close this, and you can close the unnecessary files here and just go into our main activity XML file and Instead of using the mipmap folder, we can use the drawable folder, and inside the drawable folder we can use the names that we are supposed to use. For example, I see suggestions are not showing, so we'll have to type in the whole name. So we can just see the name from this side and type it here. Account underscore box. So now this will show, and for the second one it will be IC add underscore circle and change the mipmap folder to drawable, and again the same thing. Well, I see the third name is IC photo. So these are our three icons that we had selected. So if you run this on your simulator, you'll see that the icons are now being displayed like this, with the highlighter underneath and the black icons being used. So now we'll see how to select the use the selector icons instead of black icons. So here what we can do is we can go into our drawable folder, create a new drawable resource file called the, let's suppose, selector, and we can provide the name of the icon, let's say account. So let's say account, and click OK. So this is our drawable file, and inside this drawable file what we can do is add an item, Android, not drawable but state selected should be true. So then the icon that needs to be shown is then drawable. Inside the drawable folder we need to select the this is the account, so account box pink icon. So let's close this tag. We can just normal close it as well. So now what we need to do is that, for example, there is the, let's suppose the state is not selected, then in that case what needs to be done is just use this and just remove this, and now in this case just remove the pink one. So in the normal state we can use the black. So similarly, let's create another drawable using drawable resource file, and in this case let's create a circle, like for selected underscore circle, and create a drawable file, and inside this let's create an item using the item tag. And so same thing, that when state is selected is true, then drawable should pick the pink color circle, so which is the circle pink. So add circle pink. We can just normal close it, and same way we can add an item. Again, state selected is sorry, we don't need the state selected in this case, so we can just use drawable, and in this case add circle normal, and let's close the tag. Then again go through the same process again, and for our third, for first one was account, the second one was circle, now comes our photo. So selector underscore photo. Okay, and now add an item here. Item, if state is selected is true, then drawable should pick the pink, but if there is no state selected, then the drawable should pick the normal photo icon. So now after doing all this, what we can do is just close these files, and we just need to see the name that we've given here. So we can just directly give the file names, the selector file names for each icon. For example, the account icon is selector underscore account, and for selector underscore, so this is for the so this is for the circle one. So circle one has selected underscore circle, and for the photo it's selector underscore photo. So now if you see this preview screen, yeah, the selected part, which is the first tab, which is by default selected, will show the pink icon, but the rest will show the black icons because they are not selected. And if we run this application in our emulator, so this is the default state, and now if you select the second tab, you will see that the second tab gets highlighted and the color becomes pink of the icon, and similarly for the third tab. So this is something what we saw in our file here. So if we want to select an icon and highlight its color, we can do that using the drawable selector file. So this is done using the selector property or the selector method. So now there is another way that we can use which is the tab mode. So for tab mode, this is the tab mode property here, and we have two options inside it. One is fixed, one is scrollable. Fixed is used in case we have limited number of icons which can fit into the screen width. But if we have more number of icons that do not fit into the screen width, then we can use the scrollable value. For example, if we select the fixed mode here and we copy this and paste it, and increase our number of icons, so you'll see that the icon size is getting reduced with each and every icon or tab being introduced. So this is the issue with the fixed mode. But if we select the other mode, which is the scrollable mode, now the icons are of the original size, but if we run it on the screen, and now you see this comes in a scroll form, and you can scroll it further and further. So it doesn't really matter how many icons there are in this case. But in fixed, the icons will get squeezed according to the fixed width of the screen. So this is the difference between fixed and scrollable tab mode. And also if we give a background color similar to attribute and color primary, so we can define the color for the background as well. And if we run this and see how it actually looks, so this is how it will look on your application, on your mobile. So this is the scroll mode and this is the background color that we have given. So this is how we can define the color of the background for the tab layout if we need to. Also, if you've noticed that this pink color of the highlighter is the default color, so if you want to change the color, so in that case what you can do is you can use the tab indicator color, and here you can define your color yourself by supplying a color code. Let's suppose B4 or BB4B4. This is a color which can be defined, and you can change the color from the color code from here. So let's suppose you change the color to yellow, bright yellow, and you choose this, and now you run your application. Now you see the color code has changed to yellow. Earlier it was pink, now the highlighter color is yellow. So this is how you can change your highlighter color. So let's change it to red, which is more prominent, and then again run it. So now the color of the indicator bar has changed to red. And similarly, if you want to change the height of the indicator bar, then you can use the tab indicator height property, and you can supply it with, let's suppose, 5 dp, and let's run this and see the difference. So now the height has increased and the bar height has increased and the bar is more prominent now. If we increase it to 10, then it will increase further. Now it is increased further. So this is how you can set the bar height as well. So now this was all about the tab bar and the tab bar structure, and how to set the icons inside a scrollable as a scrollable view or as a fixed view, and how to change the attributes of the selector and increase its height or color, and how to use the selector icons, etc. So you can study more about this with using the exercise files, the work material attached with this video, or you can go to the developer website and read more about the tab layout. So now this finishes our tab layout topic. So there is another topic that we can cover, a small topic that we can cover in today's session. So for that, what normally any fresher or any person who is starting off with Android development faces is, let's go to the Play Store first and then I'll show you. So let's open the Play Store. So let's search uh, a typical application called shine.com. So if you see the image, this image, so basically if you see, the issue here is that there are two images, the image of the character holding the phone and the logo. So in this case, normally what happens is, with the people who don't know about sizes, Android sizes, they tend to get confused with what size to use in this type of a screen size or this type of an image. So the designer who is helping out with the designs, he will ask for the screen size or the icon size that is required on the screen. So here what we can do, we can get the image cut in a particular size. Like for example, we had told you earlier, there are various sizes like MDP and XDP, XXDP, triple XDP, and according to, we can just get it cut according to any one size and then multiply it with the other factors to see the actual size of the icon or the screen. So for example, if we get it done for MDPI, so width would be 200 and height will be 300, and then after doing that, I convert that image into a 2x image, a 3x image, and so on, and then we get it made for the largest size, and then 4x size, and then reduce it to 3x and 2x and then 1x, and keep it in separate mipmap folders. For example, a 4x mipmap folder, a 2x mipmap folder, and a 1x mipmap folder, so that according to the device we just supply the mipmap folder according to the device size. So this is one of the common problems that someone who starts off with Android coding or designing faces. So this is one of the solutions that you can use to arrange your images in different folders and get it created for the largest size, and then start reducing the image size. So this was something that wanted to touch upon because of the issues that creep in with people who start with Android designing. So today we have discussed about the tab layout, what is its functionality, and what are its the various properties that we can use inside a tab layout, and how to use the icon sets, the highlighted and the non-highlighted icon sets using the drawable folder, and how to set the scrollable tab layout, and how to set the fixed tab layout, and something about the screen sizes and about the icon sizes that can be used on a screen. So we'll continue with our little exercises in our next session, so that you have a better idea of all the things that we have learned about in the past sessions. Also, if you have any issues, please do write into us and we'll try to resolve your queries as soon as possible. Also, just go through the study material along with this video, and hopefully that will help you out understanding the concepts of tab layout even better. So thank you for today. Thank you for watching the video.